Hello ladies and gentlemen, Nick here and welcome to another unboxing video. This one is Friday the 26th of September 2025. Time of recording is a couple minutes before 6 PM. Today's one is going to be a second unboxing to the hashtag Girls on Tour comics series by Charlie Flowers and Danielle Frey. This one should be the fourth entry of the series, What We Did on Our Holidays, which released on the 15th, I believe. Got this from Amazon. It was saying it was going to come 22nd, 23rd of the month, and then it said it was going to come 22nd of October somehow, and then it said it was going to come today, and then it arrived today. So, yeah, Amazon regarding this wasn't really certain when it was going to arrive initially, but then they ended up being able to deliver it within 2 weeks of release as opposed to over a month. Well, I'm not quite sure where they got 22nd of October from. The previous one also got kind of a bit of a... They weren't really certain at first when it was going to come because Part 3 came out at the start of March, the Waltz of Death, start of March. They predicted it would arrive at the end of March, start of April, and then it ended up coming just a couple of days, week or so after the release. In fact, I think within the week. So, maybe when it comes to these, they may not always necessarily be certain on when they'd actually get shipped and delivered. Also, whilst the writers of the comic did sign all the copies sold by Amazon back in March, they did sign those copies. I'm not sure if they've done that for this one, but they are going to the November Comic Con in London, Showmasters London Winter Comic Con 2025. So if I go to that, I can always bring this along. I got the first two signed at the 24 one, which is where I met them, so that was cool. And as I'm friends with them online, will be a nice little reunion, meet again in person sort of a deal. That's if I go. I am planning to go, so fingers crossed. Sorry for the little wobble there. Okay, so let's get into the unboxing. Whilst I unbox, whoops. Okay, before I take it out, I will quickly say regarding the Waltz of Death, because I did read it in July, so a couple months after I did the unboxing of that. I talked about the first two already in that unboxing, so in regards to Waltz of Death, that one's probably my favourite of the three so far. Well, four now, but I haven't read this one yet, so the first three. Number 3 is my current favourite, even if it was a little tricky to follow in some places, but for the most part, I think it is a brilliant conclusion to the first free comic book arc storyline. That's the first three told, this first storyline. So at present, the Waltz of Death is my favourite of hashtag Girls on Tour. Whether Part 4 is going to, which is a new story separate to Parts 1 to 3, is going to be even better is what we'll have to see. It's going to be a self-contained story this time round, independent to 1 to 3 and anything that comes after. Maybe they'll tie in at somewhere or at some point, but in terms of like episodic or serialized, this one is episodic compared to 1 to 3 being serialized. But yeah, Waltz of Death was brilliant. I had a little tricky, little bit of trickiness following it, but that's maybe more of a me thing. If I do a review, I will point this out. But yeah, I do hope to do reviews of these, or a review of the first 3 or 4 at some point. Anyway, here we go. Girls on Tour, What We Did on Our Holidays, adults only, rated 18 plus. Names of the authors at the bottom, names of the artists, bottom left, and then name of the artists on the bottom right, which are Jonah Prack and Nicholas Samaka, according to the front of Volume 1. Okay, so yeah, that's basically the unboxing, and actually this is actually really thin. I was expecting this to be a bit more thicker. The other three are slightly thicker, especially Waltz of Death, which is probably the thickest of them. I guess this story wasn't as big as I was expecting. I thought because it was a single story volume, I thought it might be roughly as thick as the other one. But you can barely get the on the spine. You can barely get the logo and the title on the spine compared to. If I get out volumes 1, 2, and 3. Might not be so clear on camera. But compared to volumes 1, 2, and 3, these are like books. These are comics, comic books. I mean, this one is as well, but like these ones are a bit more thicker. And I'm showing it in a complete wrong angle. So yeah, that's how the spines are like on volumes 1 to 3. These are much thicker, especially part 3, which is fairly thick. Like it's a good several pages. Like I'm not even sure how many pages there are. They don't really do numbers on the pages, but they're fairly thick. Whilst this one's a bit more thin. I think it's the same size. I don't know why volume 2's there. It is the same size, like that. But in terms of the thickness, it is like the thinnest. I think the first 3 get thicker as they go along, and then number 4 is thin. Very thin, but this could also mean that it's a much shorter story compared to not just the first 3, but kind of the first 3 individually, let alone all together. If there was a collection of 1 to 3 as in one set, it would be this thick, or nearly as thick as these 3 put together. But 4 is fairly thin, so I suppose that's why it was probably fairly easy to get. It was able to get out fairly quickly after part 3, considering 1, 2, and 3 came out. Well, not necessarily yearly, but part 1 definitely came out in 23, part 2 was 24, part 3 was supposed to be late 24, but it was pushed back to spring 25, and then this one, I think they were probably planning it for the summer, but it came out autumn, but it's still kind of just after the summer period. So, yeah, but they were able to get this one out fairly quickly compared to the other 3 to each other. But yeah, this will be a very interesting story, a fairly good hopefully very good self-contained story, and appears to be a much shorter one. So the blurb is: the Red Sea, one of the most dangerous places on the planet. The Romanian cruise ship, the Esther, is under siege from the Houthi splintered cell. Lives are in peril, and the Houthi steer on a suicide ride towards the NATO fleet. Who can surely save the day? Romanian problems require Romanian solutions. So, 4 high-class escorts, of course, taking some vacation time on a yacht nearby. The girls on tour are back, and they're hungry for action with lip gloss and automatic weapons. Ooh. The U was for dramatic effect. High-octane action, aerial warfare, and ill-advised small arms drills abound in What We Did on Our Holidays, which is essentially Girls on Tour 1 bonus comic, because the next series is this is counting as Girls on Tour 2, sorry, and then the next one is Eurovision Boogaloo, so that'll be Girls on Tour 3, but it's volume 4 technically, because Girls on Tour 1 is volumes 1, 2 and 3, so they're going by the story numbers there, but release wise it's volume 4. But yeah, it sounds like a very interesting story, a much shorter one compared to any of the previous 3 releases, let alone them all together. But should be a very exciting and interesting read nevertheless. And looking forward to giving it a read, as well as looking forward to the future projects, starting with Eurovision Boogaloo, which I'm presuming is going to come out in the spring to tie in with Eurovision 2026. Hopefully just before, so it can tie in, but you know, it could easily be a bit after. And then I know they're going to do Girls on Tour Windermere at some point, possibly for next summer/autumn. There's also the planned Atmosphere one, which I think could be late 26 or 27, and I think there's another one or another series set for 2027 as well. So they've got loads of ideas and stories planned, We're going to get at least another 3, maybe 4 in the next year, year and a half, 2 years. So, yeah, and hopefully they will be able to do. They'll be able to get them out on a quicker pace compared to 1, 2, 3, especially since 3 had a bit of a delay in the release. Also, on the other hand, we don't really want to rush them, so it's completely fair if they have to be delayed a bit. So there's not really much more I can say about this without reading it and giving my thoughts on it, and without going into talking about the other 3 more in plot-wise. I need to give those another read for an actual review. So in the meantime, I will say thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you guys in the next video, and looking forward to reading this at some point, hopefully before November, mid-November, when we go to see them at Comic-Con and get it signed, if I remember to bring it. And then Part 5 Electric Eurovision Boogaloo next year, hopefully. Actually, one of the things I did want to add that I forgot to mention was that I do want the character of Zelma to appear on one of the future covers. As volumes 1 to 3, we got Anna on volume 1, Elena on volume 2, and Gabby on volume 3. Anna is my favourite, Elena's the leader, and Gabby is, I suppose, in a way, the lead character of the series. She's certainly the one we get introduced to first in volume 1. And then volume 4, it's the helicopter. On the Spanish cover, Spanish edition cover, it's got the 4 girls on the ship, which I think is actually an even better cover. If I get a picture, I'll be able to share it here. But yeah, hopefully volume 5 or one of the future ones will have Zelma, because she is the 4th and final member of the crew. So hoping that she's on the next cover, or the one after, or the one after that. Certainly one of the future ones, at least in terms of a individual picture like the other 3 girls do. But yeah, that's something else I just wanted to add quickly before I wrapped up. It's not a nitpick, it's just something I hope will happen on a future volume cover. Right, that's it from me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the Nicholas Payne YouTube channel. For the and then look so in the meantime, I'll see you guys next time for the next video. Goodbye. Actually, one of the things I did want to add that I forgot to mention is that in the